I call this meeting to order. Members, please confirm your attendance when I call your name. Maria Ferraro.
Here.
Vince Marcotte. Valentina Brunoni. Ryan Tufts, Plant Technician and Secretary Treasurer.
Here.
Alan Burgess, Supervisor of Planning and Development. And Christina Bursick, Manager of Planning and Development.
Here.
Michael Capucci, Manager of Engineering.
Here.
Linda Jean, Deputy City Clerk.
Here.
And I'm your chair, Teresa Nicodemo. I'd like to read the land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the ground on which we live is in the traditional territory of Caldwell First Nation, of the Three Fires Confederacy, and the original people of Point Pelee and Pelee Island and its surrounding lands and waters, and that of the Huron, Wendat, and Wyandot peoples. We recognize and respect the First Nations who are stewards of the land and waters of Turtle Island and who have embraced this stewardship since time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge the contributions of other nearby First Nation communities and all original people across Turtle Island. The appeal notice. As a result of provincial changes to the Planning Act, only the applicant and select agencies may appeal a decision of the committee or one or more of the conditions which were imposed. Third-party appeals of consent and/or minor variances, such as neighbors and abutting property owners, are no longer allowed to be accepted by the OLT. All applications continue to be subject to a 20-day appeal period and a written request to receive a copy of the decision, and the fee for filing an appeal may be obtained from the Secretary Treasurer. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interests? See none, so noted. For the adoption of the minutes, the minutes of the meeting of the Committee of Adjustment dated May 21st, 2025 be adopted as presented. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Valentina, seconded by Maria. All in favor? That's carried. Mr. Tufts, any requests for deferral or withdrawal of any application?
None received.
So noted. First application for consideration is A-02-2025, file number 4202. The owner is Royal Oak, 927 Bouffard, a minor variance for reduced interior side yard setback for a proposed semi-detached dwelling. Mr. Tufts to make a presentation on the application.
We're just waiting for IT.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, everyone. We're just having minor technical difficulties. And it shouldn't be much longer because they're very good here.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. Just a few more minutes. Just a little technical glitch on our end, but we're fixing it right now. Thanks.
Okay, sorry about that. Next slide.
Everyone, we are going to take a 15-minute recess until this issue is resolved. If you need to step out, we just need to get this resolved. Thank you for your patience.
So we're still in recess. We're just going to make sure that the PowerPoint is now working. So Adnan, can you do the next slide?
We can begin to resume the meeting. I just want to confirm everybody online can still see us, and is Jackie Lassaline still online? Jackie, are you there for item, let's see, item here. For item number, oh, here we go. Here. For 371 Front Road, Jackie Lassaline, are you there? Okay. Right, we're going to reconvene now. Mr. Tufts to make a presentation on the application.
Okay, so next slide. So our first item is A-02-2025, and it is a minor variance for reduced interior side yard setbacks for a proposed semi-detached dwelling at 927 Bouffard Road. Next slide. The property is designated residential district in the town's official plan and zoned residential 1. Singles and semis are permitted uses in the residential 1 zone. Next slide. This is the site plan of the proposed semi that was provided by the applicant, and it shows the reduced 4-foot interior side yard setbacks. In our R2 zone, 4 feet is the interior side yard setback, so it is not that much different than something that we already allow in different zones. Next slide. Should it be approved, we have no conditions. And I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Tufts. So Paul Crema and Anthony DePonte, owners and agents, you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce yourselves and provide a brief explanation of the application, and please confirm you have read and understood the staff report.
Hello, my name is Paul Crema. I have read the staff report and agree with the recommendations, so we're just looking to get a 1-foot reduced side yard.
Thank you. Anyone present or online who'd like to speak to the application? Does the committee have any questions for Mr. Crema or Mr. DePonte? Does the committee have any questions for administration? Having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision on the following recommendation? That whereas the minor variance is consistent with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and the implementing zoning bylaw as amended from time to time, and having heard all comments and concerns from the public, agencies, and town staff, be it therefore resolved that application A-02-2025, file number 4202, be approved. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Maria, seconded by Valentina. All in favor? And the vote has been carried. Thank you. Next application is B-05-2025, file number 4200. Owner is 2507 573 Ontario Limited, for vacant land on Stanton Avenue to consent to create 5 new lots. Mr. Tufts to make a presentation on the applications.
Thank you. Next slide. So again, we have file B-05-2025, and it's a consent application to create 5 lots that'll front on Stanton Avenue. Next slide. This is just an aerial that shows the proposal. So it shows the residential lots to the right and the apartments to the right. Next slide will show the zoning, which will help. So again, we've got the official plan designation. So we have residential district and mixed use corridor. And then the zoning, we have residential 1 holding and we have mixed use holding. So we've got the semis, which are what the proposal is for, on the residential side, and then we have the apartment building, which is the proposal for the right-hand side. Both are already permitted uses, so there's no zone change here. They either meet or exceed the minimum lot size requirements for all 5 lots, and no minor variances are required. Next slide. This is a site plan that was provided by the applicant. It demonstrates the semis on the residential property, and then it has the proposed apartment building on the right side, which is in the mixed use corridor. Next slide. I think you skipped forward one. Go back a couple. Yeah, right there. So should it be approved, we have the following conditions. The first would be a survey, the second, that they remove the holding zone from the subject lands, third, that they pay all property taxes, fourth is cash in lieu of parkland, fifth is that they submit updated lot grading and servicing plans. Next slide. Number 6 is that they submit as-built. 7 would be financial securities for work performed on the town's right-of-ways. Number 8 would be a severance agreement, and 9 is that they have 2 years from today's date to fulfill the above conditions. And I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Tufts. Gentlemen, I need you to introduce yourselves again, and you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce, okay. And please provide a brief explanation of the application, and please confirm you have read and understood the staff report.
Hello, my name is Paul Crema. I have read the staff report. I agree with the recommendations, and we're looking to create 5 new lots as per the slides.
Is there anyone present or online who would like to speak to the application? Does the committee have any questions for Mr. Crema or Mr. DePonte? Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Do you have a question, sir? Did you want to come up? Could you please come up to this microphone there? And I'll need you to say your name and your address, please.
Joanna Beal, 1755 Stanton Street, right across from this proposal. Just my question is this a done deal, or is there somewhere where we could appeal this decision?
Appeals are only for the applicant, so you don't have that opportunity to appeal.
How do we stop this from happening?
But these are permitted uses. I mean, what they're going to plan are permitted. So we're just here to vote. The committee is here to vote on the severance.
So the letter that we received shows it's pending for approval. So it sounds like this meeting is already showing that it has been approved.
Perhaps administration like to speak on that matter?
Through you, your chair. So the notice that you received was for the creation of the lots. So it's not a done deal. The committee has to vote on the approval of the creation of the lots. Again, like we've said, it's not the use that's being discussed tonight, it's the creation of the lots, and they do either meet or exceed the minimum requirements of the bylaw.
The semi-detached is okay with me, but the apartment on the corner, that is not acceptable. I don't know how that even got approved.
Through your chair. It is the zoning, so that is part of the mixed-use corridor, and it's already zoned for that. So there's no zone being changed as part of this application. It's just the creation of the lot.
What is our responsibility, or what can I do to stop this from happening?
Through you, Madam Chair. Abutting landowners have no appeal rights, so it would only be the applicant that could appeal the decision of the committee tonight.
Yes, Christina Persick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to add supplementary here to what Ryan has included already. The ability for the public to have come out during the time of when the official plan was being proposed, or when the zoning bylaw was being proposed, was the public's opportunity to provide feedback on the proposed plan. And I'm stating that because, as Ryan has mentioned, it appears that the issue that you have tonight is with the use of the land, not with the severance. So the uses would have been discussed and proposed and approved during the official plan discussions and zoning bylaw discussion. I hope that helps answer your question.
I just received this letter it was mailed out on 5/29 of this year, so this is the first I'm hearing of this.
I apologize. Could you please repeat that?
The letter that we received in the mail was dated 5/29. We did not receive that mail whenever it was mailed out, whenever we got it, so this is the first I'm hearing of this.
Are you referring to when the official plan was changed?
No, this letter that I just received in the mail.
Right, but that's only discussing the consent application before you, right? So the official plan was done in 2018, and the zoning bylaw was done in 2021. So what Christina was saying is that was the opportunity to discuss the use of the land.
How would I have known that? When would I have known that?
There were open houses that were held here, and they'd had different, I believe there were media campaigns at the time that they used for those.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tufts. Ms. Bursick. Are there, yes, please come up and state your name and your address.
Hi, my name is Kathy Saffron. I live at 1715 Stanton. I did not receive a letter. However, I've lived at this address with my family for over 30 years. I understand tonight we're not discussing the use of the land because apparently that's already considered acceptable. What I want to know is when is the actual use in the neighborhood and the people that live in the neighborhood actually considered? When I moved into this neighborhood over 30 years ago, I moved into a single-family dwelling neighborhood. And I realize that things have changed. But when it feels like this is just kind of gone with, gone under the quietly without letting us know. And this really is the first time we're hearing about it, without any real consideration about the actual citizens of LaSalle. Trying to get out of our neighborhood in Stan Street, if anyone here actually gone from our neighborhood, you take your life in your hands some days, turning left. Where I'm going when I'm leaving, I'm typically going left onto Malden. I'm sure if anyone here who's been down Malden at any time of the day, especially the busy times, will know you have to take your life in your hands to get out onto Malden. Or, and I've discussed this with many of my neighbors, we have to turn right and make a left just so we can get onto Malden. So the extra traffic that's going to be whizzing down Stanton Avenue, the parking, if we look back at that last picture, it looks like there are maybe 9 parking spots for 6 units. Are these 1 or 2 bedroom units?
So, Catherine, we are not here to discuss what is being built. Like as Mr. Tufts had said, those are permitted units, but right now, and the parking, the traffic is not an issue either. We're just here for the severance.
Okay.
And that bylaw, like Mr. Tufts said, is a provincial bylaw from 2018. You can put up 30 feet and you can put up a dwelling. It's a provincial bylaw.
I understand that. I just wanted to make it known that as a LaSalle citizen, I'm quite disgusted and disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone, yes, please come up, sir, and state your name and your address.
Good afternoon. My name is Stan Balkowitz at 1770 Stanton Street, 2 houses from the end of the cul-de-sac. Couple concerns I have or questions is that the existing cul-de-sac is considerably higher than the rest of the property. I know my neighbor at 1780 built his home, they had to build everything and grade it up so it's the same level as mine. But after that, there's a significant slope downwards. Will the existing cul-de-sac remain in place and traffic entrance to the 270 attached buildings be from Malden Road, or are they going to extend the cul-de-sac on a downward ramp? And at whose expense? Would that be the contractor's expense or the taxpayer's expense?
Well, as per the staff report, they are going to extend the cul-de-sac, but if perhaps administration has anything to add to that, please go ahead. Mr. Tufts?
Through you, Madam Chair, I will turn it over to Mr. Capucci in engineering.
I'm just going to butt in, Madam Chair, just for a minute here.
Thank you.
Again, I'm just going to remind us that we're here today to speak to the severance of the property, which is creating the new lots. The committee, before you hear the Committee of Adjustment, the powers that they are provided via council, LaSalle Council, is to make decisions on minor variances and consent applications, such as the ones we're here for tonight. If there's any clarification on that, I'm happy to speak to any members of the public or the audience about that afterwards. With that, I'll pass it on to our Manager of Engineering.
Thank you. Through you, madam. The road extension for the cul-de-sac will be the developer's responsibility, so there'd be their costs to build the road to the town standards, and any required drainage will be, again, their responsibility to install and get designed by a professional engineer and submitted to the town. That was one of your, did you, sorry, I forget, I think it was the extension and the cost, but I forget, did you have a third question?
Yeah, when I first saw that, I
Yeah.
thought, well,
There is a great difference, yeah, there is a great difference, but that's on their private property that they'll have to build up when they're building, when they're doing the foundations and backfilling for the properties.
okay. Does the town have any control or any input in the type of building that's going to be put for the apartment building? I have to admit, much to my surprise, and it was a positive surprise, the 2 semi-detached homes on Stewart Street that were just completed, one level, not bad at all, kind of fit towards the neighborhood. And I can see that the 2 semi-detaches proposed are one level. It's brand new, shouldn't deteriorate the property values of existing homes. That's pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. But a 3-story apartment building, that's tall, and it's probably going to invade people's privacy as well. My son, for example, lives right behind it, 1799 Stanton. He's going to have a brick wall right in front of him. I don't know why the apartment building is allowed to be there. Why not just have semi-detached homes at one level and kind of keep everything consistent, rather than have a level, all of a sudden, a big bump?
Through your chair, in the mixed-use commercial corridor, they're not allowed to build semi-detached homes. As far as the apartment building, the apartment will not exceed the height of, basically the height that your existing, or that the R1 zone already permits. So their construction, I believe that the last one of the diagrams I saw, I believe it was like a 2.5-story design.
It's, well, the
So-
notification we just received said it's 3-story design.
Yeah, so basically what, it's 3 stories because half a story is in the ground and then there's 2 stories above it. So like a raised ranch.
Okay.
So-
And I have to agree with Mrs. Safran's concern, is that even down Stanton Street, the traffic's pretty controlled. But again, you add more traffic. I don't know, it just, when I first saw the building, I thought maybe the entrance and exit would be off of Malden Road, and would save the taxpayers the expense of having to build up the cul-de-sac. Because I know that living where we lived in Raj Kumar's house at 1780 Stanton Street required quite a bit of a buildup. That is, I don't know who's responsible for that. As a taxpayer, I don't want anything to do with it. I know progress is there, rather not have anything to do with it, but I recognize that life goes on. But I just want to make sure that it doesn't invade the nature of the neighborhood. Like I could see when we bought and we lived there, we expected to live and retire with single-family homes. Life goes on, the world has changed, and maybe 1-story semi-detached homes are on the same level, and it fits the neighborhood, and it's consistent. It looks like it, it belongs. But to stick an apartment building, and it's not on Malden Road, it is on Stanton Street. The apartment building was facing Malden Road fine. It could be commercial, it could fit in with the rest of the locations, but on a neighborhood street, if you told me the apartment building's not going to be there, you're going to have a couple more semi-detached, that'd be great. But I know with the housing crisis going on, 2 more families finding homes is like a drop in a bucket, but it's at the expense of 40 people living on Stanton. Like it just ruins the conformity of the neighborhood. I know that's legally you have the right to do it, but morally, I don't know if it just matches the consistency of the neighborhood. You know, it's like building an apartment building in the middle of Williston Crescent. You just don't do those sort of things.
You know,
Money
I-
aside.
Like, I thank you for your comments, but again, it's a provincial bylaw that this is a permitted use since 2018. And this is not just happening in your area, your neighborhood. This is happening in other areas of LaSalle as well.
Do you guys have a basic idea of the design of the building? I mean, the last thing that I don't think anybody on Lansdowne would want is to have balconies 3 stories up overlooking everybody's neighborhood, seeing what's inside the living room and kitchen.
I'm sorry, but this, again, this meeting is just here regarding consent for severance. And do you have any other comments you may perhaps see the,
Like, how would you control the design of the building? I mean, you're gonna be a 3-story apartment building. Would it be balconies in the front, balconies in the back? How do you maintain the residential people's privacy, for example? Like, do you have an input if they submit a design? Do you
Does-
guys does the town have a way to say what the design looks like?
does administration like to comment on that? Okay.
Through your,
Thank you.
your, the chair. So 2 things. One, the province of Ontario, along with the federal government, changed the law with regards to what we classify as a single-family home. That no longer exists. They are single detached dwellings. So you can't define a family. So when we refer to as a home, it's just a detached dwelling. Second, with regards to the apartment, you're asking questions about site plan and style and the configuration of it. Again, the province of Ontario recently changed the rules with regards to site plans, and any apartment that has 10 or less units, we can no longer ask for site plan control.
So they decided to put a balcony. I hear you, sir.
So,
I just want to be clarified.
But let me just
Okay, sorry.
finish. And then finally, at this committee, we are not here, and they are not here to discuss the matters with regards to the site plan. So what I would encourage you to do, if you wanted to come in to take a look at anything, you're more than welcome to come to our counter and we can discuss. But the committee isn't here to discuss site plan. They're not here to discuss the road configuration, whether or not there should be curbs or gutters, or whether there should be landscaping strips. They're here to discuss the division of land, and only the division of land.
So if I understand you correctly, then you're now counting on the recently passed legislation that allows this to take place. And really, there's nothing we can do to stop it, is that correct?
Again, through your
Thank
chair.
you, thank you.
Yeah. Basically, the province of Ontario removed our rights with regards to site plan control, with regards to units, buildings which have less than 10 units. So basically, they file a building permit.
So I'm not going to be
So
argumentative.
we set out the limits as far as the setbacks. We tell them how far away they must be from a front yard, from a rear yard, from a side yard, how much parking they're required to have, which is 1.5 parking spots, which they meet. And that's what the municipality is allowed to control.
But if you want,
The municipality is not allowed to tell them how to landscape their property. The municipality is not allowed to tell them how to design their building. We ask that they try to keep it in keeping with the neighborhood, but we do not have formal control any longer with regards to site plan control. That was a decision of the province of Ontario.
if, the last question, if they decided to build a building, if anybody's ever been to Barcelona, the infamous Sagrada Familia building is nice, but it's all a bunch of towers and wouldn't fit in LaSalle. Is there an opportunity that once you're aware of what the building's gonna look like, and I appreciate your words of confidence that it's gonna conform to the neighborhood. I like to see a 3-story building conform to the neighborhood, so I hope it's gonna be designed properly. But is there a way for us to see that before You put the rubber stamp on it.
Okay, Paul, I'm going to intercept here. We appreciate your comments, but these kind of questions, you need to speak to the planning staff during business hours. We really need to move on.
I understand.
So I thank everyone for your comments, but we are here today, the committee's here today for severance. I need you to take your seat,
So the
please.
And I appreciate the existence of this meeting, but I guess the purpose is to inform the public of the decisions you've already made.
Through your chair,
Thank
they
you.
haven't made a decision yet. They will, once they've completed speaking to the members of the audience, if the members of the committee have any questions, they'll ask their questions. And then at that point, then they will make a decision.
So technically, you could say, no, this is not going to take place if you felt there was a reason for you to make that decision. Is that correct? You're not bound to say, this has to take place because legislation is passed. If I understand the gentleman correctly, you 5 people have the right to say, no, we're not going to allow this. Is that correct?
If it's as simple as a severance, I mean, that's usually approved. And that's why we're here, for the severance, for the committee is here to vote on that.
But not necessarily to talk about permitting an apartment building to be installed in a residential subdivision.
But those are already permitted under the provincial bylaw. Yeah. So thank you again. Please take your seat, please. We need to move on. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Does the committee have any questions for Mr. Crema or Mr. DePonte? And does committee have any questions for administration? Maria, yes.
Just concerning the removal of the holding symbol you mentioned earlier, what is the expected timeline for that? Does that need to go to council? And what is the process? Thank you.
So yes, they would have to file the application, and then that application is heard before council. It's a report that's brought forward to remove the holding on it, and it deals with items such as servicing of the property, which would be done as part of their agreement with us for the development of the subject lands.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Mr. Tufts. Having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision on the following recommendation? That whereas the consent is consistent with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and the implementing zoning bylaw as amended from time to time, and having heard all comments and concerns from the public, agencies, and town staff, be it therefore resolved that application B-05-2025, file number 4200, be approved. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Maria, seconded by Vince, and all in favor. Okay, the vote has been carried. So thank you very much for coming, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Clemens DePonte. The next application is B-06-2025, file number 4201, and the owner is 5009742, Ontario Limited. The address is 7680 and 86 Major Boulevard. Consent to sever an existing townhouse. Mr. Tufts to make a presentation on the application.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next slide. Next slide. Thanks. So we have consent application B-06-2025. And it's a consent application to create 3 lots fronting on Major Boulevard. And there is a townhouse dwelling that has already been constructed, a 3-unit. So this application is just to actually create those 3 units. Next slide. The property is designated waterfront district in the town's official plan and zone waterfront district 2 in the town's zoning bylaw, and townhouses are permitted use in those zones and designation. Next slide. This is the site plan that was provided, shows the 3 lots that will be created as a result of this application. And again, it's an existing 3-unit townhome. Next slide. Should this application be approved, we would have the following conditions: that they provide a survey, that they pay all property taxes, and they have 2 years from today's date to fulfill the above conditions. I'm available should you have any questions, but I don't believe we have anybody here to speak for the matter. Madam Chair? I don't believe we have anybody to speak on behalf of this item, Madam Chair.
Okay, then would it be okay, Mr. Tufts, if we just proceed to the recommendation?
That's up to the discretion of the committee. You can vote on that yourselves. But first, just ensure no one's in the audience to speak on the matter.
Oh. Is someone here? Are you here to speak on the application? No, okay. Would the committee like to proceed to the vote on this severance of the already existing buildings? Yes? Okay. So having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, with the following recommendation, that whereas the consent is consistent with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and implementing zoning bylaws amended from time to time, and having heard all comments and concerns from the public, agencies, and town staff, be it therefore resolved the application B-06-2023, file 4201, be approved. Is there a mover and a seconder? Moved by Valentina, seconded by Vince. All in favor? And that is carried. Oh, did I say 2025? Okay. So the next application for consideration is, there are 2 with the same file number. First is B-07-2025, file 4203, and B-08-2025, file 4203. The owner is Jinhu Holdings, 371 Front Road. Consent to create 8 new lots. Mr. Tufts, make a presentation on the application.
Thank you, Chair. Next slide, please.
Mr. Tufts, I understand that Jackie Lassaline is online but unable to hear the presentation. Should I put the meeting on hold for 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay,
Thanks.
we'll take a 5-minute recess until we can, the tech department can confirm the difficulties. Thank you.
Test 1, test 2. Test 1, test 2.
Jackie Lassaline, we're still in test mode. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Jackie Lassaline? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us, Jackie?
Yes, I can now.
Excellent. We will proceed then.
Thank you.
And we're going to reconvene the meeting. And Mr. Tufts, could you please continue with the presentation? Thank you.
Okay, so we have consent applications B-07 and B-08. And they are consent applications, both to create 4 lots fronting on Vermont Street, so for a total of 8 lots. Next slide. The property is designated waterfront district in the town's official plan, and it is also zoned waterfront zone 2 in the town's zoning bylaw, and townhomes are permitted use in the waterfront zone 2. Next slide. The diagram before you was submitted by the applicant, and it shows the proposed new lot configuration. So the 4 lots per, so B07 is on the right-hand side, and then B08 is on the left-hand side. So the 8 new total lots with all driveways fronting onto Vermont Street. Next slide. Should the application be approved, we would have the following conditions. The first would be a survey. The second is that they pay all property taxes. Third is that all conditions from B-04 2025 be fulfilled and the certificate is issued. That creates the 2 lots. Fourth would be cash in lieu of parkland dedication fee. Fifth would be that they submit updated lot grading and servicing plans to the town. Next slide. Sixth would be they submit as-builts. 7 is they enter into a severance agreement with the town. Number 8 would be that they provide financial security to ensure that there's no damage to the town's right-of-way, and the 9th would be they have 2 years from today's date to fulfill the above conditions. And I'm available should you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Tufts. Jackie Lastline, you may now speak to the matter, and please introduce yourself and provide a brief explanation of your application, and please confirm you have read and understood the staff report.
Good afternoon. Yes, it's Jackie Lassaline, Lassaline Planning Consultants. I've read the conditions and I accept the conditions. I concur with Ryan's position of the application, and I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Is anyone present? Okay, please come up and state your name and your address. And you just have to push the button where it's to put the mic on. Thank you.
My name is Marcella Beneteau, and I live at 140 Vermont Street. I have seen the design with the 4 and 4, and I understand we're here to discuss splitting that parcel of land into 2 for those 2, but I don't understand the wording of the, on the other side of the page anyways, where it says that it's going to be creating 3 lots and 1 remnant lot. When here it says that there's 4 separate lots that each of those parcels is going to be separated into, that there's going to be 4 townhouses on each, so I don't understand why it says creating 3 lots and 1 remnant lot.
All right, thank you, Ms. Beneteau. Could I have administration, Ryan, would you like to speak to that? Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair. So there was already a consent application, the B-04, that was heard by the committee and approved. That creates the 2 lots. This application, B-07 and B-08, are new files. Those create the 4 on each. So it's the 3, and then the 1 would be the remaining lot, which creates the 4. And then on the B-08, it would be the same. So there's the 3 new lots and then the 1 piece remnant. So the 2 lots were already created on B-04, and then we've got the 4 and 4 on B-07 and B-08.
I'm just wondering, why doesn't it just say 4 lots? Why does it say 3 lots and a remnant lot?
The remnant lot would be the original parcel, so you're severing off 3 lots from the original, and there's the 1 that's remaining would be the 4th. So that's the legal way to describe the creation of the 4 lots.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions, Ms. Beneteau?
I know previously it was discussed about how high the building was and how close it was to the property line, but I guess I have no other questions. The wording was what was really kind of throwing me off. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Is anyone online who'd like to speak to the application? Does the committee have any questions for Ms. Lassaline? And does the committee have any questions for administration? Okay. So we will first vote on B-07, so that having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, excuse me. Ms. Beneteau, could you please turn off the microphone, and you may take your seat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, committee ready to make a decision with the following recommendation for B-07, so that whereas the consent is consistent with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and the implementing zoning bylaw as amended from time to time, and having heard all comments and concerns from the public, agencies, and town staff, be it there resolved, the application B-07-2025, file number 4203 be approved. And can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Maria, seconded by Valentina, and all in favor? And that's everyone. And that has been carried. And now we will vote on B-08, that whereas the consent is consistent with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and the implementing zoning bylaw as amended from time to time, and having heard all comments and concerns from the public, agencies, and town staff, be it there resolved, application B-08-2025, file number 4203, be approved. And can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Vince, seconded by Valentina. All in favor? And all the votes have been carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jackie. Nice seeing you. Nice talking to you.
Have a good evening.
Take care. Okay, the next meeting is July 16, 2025. And this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming in.